Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy, and today we got a big old Ontario to take a look at. That is right. We have now, due to a very awesome friend and subscriber, we have now the Ontario RTAKII. This knife has been on my list for a hot frickin' minute. You know, when it was time to buy this big knife, or a big knife, I was looking at the ESEE Junglas, and of course you can't look at the ESEE Junglas without its competitor. It's bigger, older, well, not bigger, but it's older brother, the RTAKII. And when it came time to it, I didn't want to go with 5160. I don't know why. I figured I should spend more money and buy an ESEE, and I did. And it was probably one of the best purchases I ever made. But yeah, I was a little hesitant on these because of the 5160. There's a lot of stuff on the internet where people have chipped these out, took chunks out of them. They didn't seem to do 5160 well for a large chopper. Would it have done better in a smaller knife? Probably. But for something that's going to be smacked against stuff as hard as these knives do, 5160, it's supposed to be tough, but the way Ontario did it, kind of freaking... people had issues with it, and it's all over the internet. So ESEE is where I went, but I had a chance to, actually this was in my cart, and one of my good friends said, hey, here's some money, buy it. And thank you, you know who you are. But yeah, so what are we looking at here? We are looking at a 10.5-inch blade. What do we got here? Almost 17 inches overall. Damn, big knife. With a big fat handle with plenty of room for big fat paws. You know, there's no comparing this knife without bringing in its younger brother, the ESEE Junglas. They are just, you know, ESEE and Ontario, kind of the same company for a while. I guess, I don't know how it happened, but somebody from Ontario went to ESEE, made ESEE, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know the story. I'll screw it up if I do it. But the way I see it is the RTAKII is just a less refined ESEE, and I didn't like the 5160. Now, I've been saying that a bunch because now these are available, or they're only in 1075 high carbon, which I have 1075 high carbon from Ontario, and that stuff's bulletproof. It's awesome. It's good stuff. So once I found that out, and actually somebody in my comments of a short I did with this told me that, and sure enough, I went on Ontario's website and it's listed as 1075 high carbon. Awesome. Couldn't be happier. That made me like this knife so much more. Now, I haven't used it yet, but I can only imagine it's going to be similar in chopping to the ESEE, and if that's the case, it's going to do freaking great. There is some obvious differences. ESEE does not have a finger choil, but it does have a flat spot to put your finger if you're one of those people who take a 10.5-inch knife and go bushcrafting. I'm not one of those. I use these as strictly choppers, at least this one. This one will also be used as strictly a chopper. But as you can see, the handle scales are less refined on the Ontario. They're very blocky, very flat, very slabby, with slight radius, and where the ESEE is just more refined. It's just a more comfortable handle. Holding these two side by side, yeah, they're both comfortable, but that ESEE's just got that slight advantage of being a little bit more comfortable. I have extra large hands, and this is a lot of handle for me. This is also a lot of handle, but it's just more comfortable. So if you have smaller hands, I would say definitely go with the Junglas. Larger hands, like me, this will do you fine. Just don't touch one of these because then you'll want one. But we're looking at, like I said, 10.5 inches. It is slightly, I mean, it's about the same size. Same thickness, 3/16. Where ESEE Junglas has a extremely high saber grind. That saber grind comes up to within probably 3/8 of the spine here. This one is a true full flat grind. Now, I don't think you'll see a chopping difference in that because it's such a minute it's such a very small difference in geometry here that I would highly doubt that you would even see a difference chopping or slicing because of that full flat grind. They both have this traction coating on it. I'm going to tell you that the ESEE, or not the ESEE, the Ontario is much more rough. You know, ESEE's is a little bit more smooth, and Ontario's is pretty rough. But being rough, it'll probably wear in pretty quick, which is good. One thing I did notice is my handle skill. Look at that. Better check that. Haven't used this knife. It's brand new. I just did a short with it. Gotta tighten that up. So yeah, fit, finish, QC, quality control. It's just less. It's not the same as ESEE. Everybody, you know, says ESEE is overpriced, but you are actually getting a better product, in my opinion. If I still had to choose either one of these, price included, I would still go with this one. Even though I do like this one a little bit better now that it is $10.75. But yeah, this thing's freaking awesome. I'm glad to have two of them. Now, when the dinosaur apocalypse happens, I can go full ninja with two of these. But yeah, we're gonna definitely do some chopping with these and some comparisons here, probably in the spring, because right now it's just too freezing cold to do anything outside. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. They're pretty cool. If you're choosing between one, I would say go with the ESEE. You are getting your money's worth. You are getting a better warranty. You are getting a little bit better steel. I don't know about edge retention. I imagine they're probably very similar. Maybe a slight advantage to ESEE, but I mean, probably to where nobody would ever know the difference. Now that they're not 5160, I would trust it more. 1075 is a very strong high carbon steel. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching.